the virtual live interview tour. You see, I got the motherfucking drip, the hat. You goddamn, I'm feeling good. I got my drink. I got my hand sanitizer. Y'all, kick up your feet. Lay back, relax. I want you to grab that popcorn. I want you to grab that drink. I want you to grab that ice cream. Get ready because we about to have some great conversation with the homie Nabil tonight.
Good.
What's good, bro? How
Chill,
you
man.
feeling, man?
Good,
How
man.
you feeling?
Good. Love this energy. It's great.
Man, I'm excited, bro. You don't even know, man. This time of isolation got me feeling so regenerated, bro. I'm fucking in. I'm going in. It's like
Now you gotta stay
24
positive.
hours,
Good.
bro. Let's get it, man. But just introduce yourself to the people. Let's go ahead and start off with that, man, and let's get into this interview, bro.
Yeah, man. So what's up, guys? So if you don't know me, my name is Nabil. From Jersey City, born and raised. I do a few things. Photographer, graphic designer. I guess everyone's creative director shit. Like everyone does that stuff. But yeah, just like a DJ, just a bunch of different shit. And yeah, I do like all that under the party called Work in Progress, WIP. From Jersey City, you've been to one. If you haven't been to one, you got to come to one because they're always crazy. And then my newest project, Some Days Off, which is like clothing slash social experiment. So yeah, and that's like that's my thing.
Bro, you are a man of many traits, bro. Someone that I inspire to look up to and like be in their spot. Like after next couple years, man. I'm glad to have you on as the first stop in this interview series tour, man. So I'm just gonna kick right into it, man, and get to these questions and these gems that you got to drop on the people tonight, man. I want to know what is the passion that burns deep inside your heart to fucking get up every day and do what you do.
So corporate answer is can't be broke, but nah, man, I really just love everything I do. I try not to do things that I'm not fully invested in. So like if I don't vibe with it or like vibe with the idea, you can tell immediately, and I try not to fuck with stuff like that. Like everything I do, put 100% into it. It's all love. And yeah, man, just have fun with my friends. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I think as long as you're able to create with your friends, like that's an experience a lot of people don't get to have. And like I'm blessed enough to like have homies who like always help. Like my homie Matt Limited just hopped in, prints all my shit. Shout out to him. And Bolt Print Shop. Shout out to those guys. But yeah, like I'm blessed enough to do that stuff. So yeah, just have fun with the homies. It's like all it's about, man. Yeah.
That's dope, man. And I think that that's awesome because at a point in our time, we have to realize that, I mean, the creativity and innovation that we have in our brain, it comes from a point of passion that we have to find who is around us and why they're around us and create that environment that's conducive
Definitely.
to our success, right? So recently, I just had to isolate my mind, isolate my thoughts, and focus on what's important. Graduate school, branding my business, and creating that bond with the family and friends, given the chaos and uncertainty. So I want you to let the people know, like, how has this uncertainty and chaos kind of impacted your life and the grind that
Uh,
you have?
yeah, man. So like I think like initially like just like everyone, I was kind of caught off guard. I'm like, all right, so there's obviously things we had planned, like we were trying to do that got like shelved because it's like all right, can't go outside, can't be with people. Part of the DJing thing is like you're bringing people together. When you can't do that, it's like all right, how do you bring people together but within their homes? And yeah, so like that initiative was like the first thing that hit me. And then I was like, I'm lucky enough to like my job is like half closed, half open. So like I'm there 3 days and then I'm off like the rest of the week. And yeah, like it's open enough where like I don't have to be next to anyone, so like I can still work. So doing that like 3 days a week and then still freelancing for homies who are like still have projects work in the works. And like lucky enough clients still hit me up like, yo, I need this done, I need this done. So like still getting bread that way. But yeah, just trying to do that and just focus on my own stuff. So like been doing a lot of like DJing stuff. Just did a IG live yesterday and a Twitch stream, so that was pretty fun. And then yeah, just still designing like every day. Like
For sure.
there's like a bunch of some days off stuff in the cut, just like sitting, oh like just ready to let go whenever.
Bro, we are working, bro. Like, and I think that that's what makes like young entrepreneurs and professional like trendsetters just so creative and so like innovative in the way that they approach life, because no matter what uncertainty or chaotic times are thrown at us, we're able to adapt and thrive.
No,
And
definitely.
I recently saw you like on live, like the Twitch and the live streams that you do, like doing your sets. So how does that DJ and how does that like basically impact like how you're actually creating these virtual realities for certain people in the online community?
Yeah, no, man. It's a lot of fun because it's like in a club setting, you're kind of it's a lot more crowd pleasing. So you're trying to get people to stay, have fun, get drinks, like dance and shit. So the IG live stuff and Twitch stuff is really fun because like I kind of get to do whatever I want, which is like the great thing about Whip is like that was the original idea. It's like, yo, let's do a party where it's not like, oh, let's have a bunch of people who know exactly what they're doing and just gonna make it like an industry thing. Let's just have fun and like just play shit that we want to play, like that we want to hear in the club and shit. So it's been fun to just do that in my home and just like, just play tunes for homies, like just do going through shit. It's like, yo, everyone's stuck at home. You gotta have some fun somehow, So
For
that's
sure.
been super fun to do, Like everyone just hopping in the live. And it's like people who like you usually doesn't come out. So like sometimes you see people who, like never comes out and then you're just like, oh shit, you're actually in here listening to me now. So like you got to see me play for once when you usually don't, So it's fine.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I was actually like, I used to reside in Miami, right? And I
Weird.
was listening to one of the homies, a DJ Fly Guy, and what he said, he was
Yeah,
like some of the IG lives are starting to cut off their sets because DJs don't have a way to make money. That's their primary source of income,
exactly.
right? And like I was wondering, just off the sense of not the revenue, because we're focused on the passion behind our purpose, right? Like, what's your ultimate playlist? Top three, like top three songs.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
All right, this is super cheesy. Day and Night, Kid Cudi. That was like all
Yeah,
high school.
that
Listen to that
shit's
shit
fire.
like,
That
all
shit's
the
fire.
time. Let's see. I'm always gonna go a little different. So like Linkin Park in the end, like definitely grew up on that shit. So like I'd have to put that there. All right, then something classic. What is? Oh man. Dead Presidents. Come on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm out for Dead
Yeah.
Presidents. Yeah,
Yeah.
hey,
Yo, you got
real shit. The first one and the third one, I was like, yeah, that's fire right there. Because I mean, all I've been vibing to is like music. I've been trying to get that in my head and set that for the creative process, man. And I think that you have such a creative process that it gives you the ultimate perspective to start off this tour, right? So you're super involved in the community. You're super passionate about your craft, and you have a great purpose that defines your identity at its core, that gravitates people towards you, right? So can you let us into like the insight and the perspective that you have to wake up every 24 and go after it? What's like that perspective?
Yeah, man. I just kind of like I don't know. So like some days it starts with some days off. So like the idea is I was just like if you ask anyone, I've not taken a vacation in like maybe 3 or 4 years. So like it's just been like no days off in all reality, right? So like I was just at a point where I was realizing like, yo, I'm burning out. Like I keep creating stuff and doing this, and I'm like, yo, there has to be something else here. So I wanted to make something where it was like, yo, I could just drop something one day, no stress, don't think about it, like, and people are gonna fuck with it. So I was like, some days off, because like the idea of no days off sucks. It's like, yo, you're always working. You can't be like working to live. It's like that just like that's crazy. Like so how do you tell people like, yo, it's okay to take a break? Because everyone, I think you feel guilty when you're like, yo, I'm taking a break. Like I should be working on something, and it's like, nah, you really need that. Like, the break is part of the process at all. So
Nah,
like,
for sure.
you need that shit. So like, I was like, all right, some days off is like the greatest concept of that because it's like, all right, I'm still working, but then I still have my days off, and it's like, I'm chilling and then for myself because like internal work's important, You gotta take care of yourself. If you're not working internally, you can't do anything, So
Yeah, definitely. I think that that's the best concept ever. From me as a standpoint for living with disabilities, I live with cerebral palsy and epilepsy, right? So my grind is like endless. And I was just talking to my sister earlier today, and we were actually talking about that, getting sleep and actually taking the time off to
yeah.
realize, what I've accomplished and what I have to go so far, and I have to take care of my body. What are some of the ways that you actually kind of take care of your body just to rejuvenate it and make sure your immune system is fighting off the virus, the coronavirus?
So number one tip, water. Like
Yeah,
like you guys
not
like
this liquor, not this liquor.
I'm not like the super biggest advocate of like super healthy shit, but like
Yeah.
like recently like, I realized like like nah, you need that water because especially like with DJing, it's like yo, I could drink like 4 drinks, but at some point I gotta take it back and like do something. So like even just like throughout the day, like I'm drinking water and just like staying hydrated and shit. A lot of sleep. So I recently got into like meditation, like Headspace app, and like super. I was like one of the people who was like, this is stupid. Like, I don't get this. And then a year later, I'm like, it's kind of super necessary. Like, you kind of need that unwind and decompress. Otherwise, like, your mind just keeps going and shit, you know? So super important to just do all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that all three of those things were essential. And I definitely think that water definitely keeps me going. Like nice showers, definitely keep my body rejuvenated. And just the music has been therapeutic for me, man. I think that just being able to latch on to the significance of your brand. I don't think a lot of people get it, right? Because I think apparel is so essential to me because it's like armor that's protecting you as you go out and pursue your dreams and aspirations in life, right? So people wear the Gucci, the Louis, the Prada without knowing the significance behind the brand. Like, I don't know if anybody knew, but there's a brand out there. I don't know if it's Tom Ford's or I don't know what it is, but that brand, like specifically the CEO was a big, like he wasn't like too fond of African Americans. So like when we started creating our own brands and we started kind of building and investing in our community and buying back the block, man, it was so many things that kind of just rejuvenated us as a people. And for you to be out in the community, I saw a photo on your Instagram where you had created this basically like a mural. It was like an artsy vibe for like the release of Some Days Off, man. And I think you had DJ'd a set. You had created like that whole artistic community for people to be innovative in that space. Tell us a little bit about like those events that you host for people, to be creative in.
Yeah, no. So that was like the first. So with the first teas we dropped for Some Days Off, I have a few homies who like super talented. So my homie Nova NYC, he did the mural actually on like the wall of like the shop. So the shop's called Taproot Organics. Shout out to them. Those are the best people ever. Literally within like 2 weeks, hit me up like, hey, do you want to do a pop-up shop? And I was like, sure, let's fuck it. Like, let's just do it. And we kind of just walking through the space. I saw like what were possible and what wasn't. And it's like crazy. Like some things just happened for a reason. We walked in there. I dropped a tea anyway. And the wall is the same color as the tea I dropped. So like same. And it was like not planned, not anything. And I was like, yeah, no, I have to do something with this. Like there's no way I could pass this up.
For sure.
Got my homie in. I was like, yo, you mind doing like a small mural for me like on the wall? And I was like, yo, we'll just figure it out on the back end or whatever. He was like, yeah, no, I'm down. Like, cause he was new to like Jersey City, and he was like, yo, I actually need walls. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can plug you in with them. Do this one for me, and I'm sure they'll give you the wall. I'm like, definitely. They were like, oh yeah, we love your work. Like anytime you want to paint the wall, paint the wall. So it's like kind of just like he helps me, I help him, like kind of thing. And then with DJing, like, so obviously I could DJ, and then my homegirl Steph, who like is my partner work in progress, she was like, I didn't want to ask her first. I'm like, yo, like I know we're always working. I don't want you to have to feel like you have to do it. But she ended up telling me like, no, like I'm down to DJ. Like, so she actually took care of like all of that stuff, and like I didn't have to worry about it for like the first half of the party. And then from there it was kind of just like, what's the coolest experience I could do for the moment? And I was like, what if I got a bunch of food and drinks for my friends, and we just played music? You could chill. There was a hammock, so you could take pictures in front of the mural, and just like buy some merch or whatever. So the two merch concepts were the first tea I ever dropped, which it's a picture of an island, and on the bottom it says, I took a vacation and the world didn't end. So that was like the biggest concept for me from the beginning. I was like, all right, I can take off and not have to worry about like, something's going wrong here, something going wrong there. Like, so that was like the first tea, and like that the whole concept was based around that. And then we did another tea, Millionaire in Spirit. So if you look at my brand, there's a lot of stuff that is with cars, just because like they're super interesting. Like even like this shirt, I got like the pink Lambo on it.
That's fresh.
So like this is unreleased stuff yet, but like like it was a Porsche with palm trees, and the tea idea was Millionaire in Spirit, because like there's actually a Porsche tea that says Millionaire in Training, and I was like, no, like there's other ways to be millionaires besides money. Like it doesn't always have to be about the money. So Millionaire in Spirit, and like great. So we had a whole pop up with that, and then it was just a good vibe. Like, and the funny thing is, it wasn't a crazy turnout. It was just like really like homie shit, like a bunch of friends just chilling. And then my homies Petey and Craze performed at the end and did like 3 songs for me. Shout out to those guys, love them. And yeah, just like whole good vibes. And then the second event we did at a high rise actually in Jersey City. One second. Yeah, he's in his room, Dad. Hold on, I'm talking to him.
Hey, bro. Hey,
That's great.
family is love, bro. I wish I had my family right here, bro.
Yeah, man. It's blessing to get a Christmas out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the second one, we actually did in a high rise in Jersey City. So I used to work for a homie called Dave, who owns a shop called Wealth and Co. And they do a bunch of like food things and like they're a cafe in Gerald Square. So he pretty much was like, "Yo, what have you been up to? When are we doing this pop up?" And I'm like, I mean, you can do it whenever. Like, just let me know like what you kind of want to do. And he's like, "No, you're free reign. You do whatever you want." So he kind of, the way his cafe is set up is like it's downstairs from a high rise, and the high rise has like a community space that's kind of not to the public, but like we kind of finesse some things. So he pretty much was like, "Yo, this space is yours. Do what you want with it." And I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, so we had a bunch of Jersey City kids from the hood, pretty much in a high rise, playing video games, listening to music, buying clothes, and just eating like food and shit. And it was like one of the funnest things ever. Like, to be honest, like I just walked around the top of the whole day, and I was like, I still can't believe we did this. And it was like from the top of there, you see a view of Jersey City that you don't see on the regular. Like, and it's like you can see the whole Jersey City. It's like nuts. It was like the coolest thing ever. Yeah,
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, man, it's just a whole lot of fun. Like, and it's once again, it's like as long as I get to hang with my homies and shit, like it's all it's about, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the impact that your brands have on the community in itself, because New Jersey is in this state of like where it comes together. Everybody supports everyone. Everybody is so warm and welcoming in terms of what they see in the creative community. I know that there's a good side and a bad side, but you represent that silver lining where, okay, no matter what is good and bad, I feel like you can still come out on the other side and reflect who you are as an individual. And I see everything that you represent is invested back in the community. You were telling me yesterday that you have some new designs coming out, and some of those proceeds are going to a great initiative. Like, I feel like you are iconic in the making, and I see, and I'm glad to see the person that you are, and just being transparent of what your mission is, what your intent, and what your purpose is. So one of the questions that I definitely have for you is that how do you stay so motivated, given the circumstances that we're in the midst of these chaotic times?
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's just like, I think you can focus on the negative all you want, but at some point you got to be like, all right, am I going to just complain about it, or what am I going to do about it?
For sure.
For me, it's like, all right, how can I use what I do to help other people? So
exactly,
like I said, like I just put out a bunch of shirts and totes yesterday that like 100% of the proceeds are actually going towards. So my homie started something called JC Relief Squad, and like she's been doing like great work, just like providing food to like healthcare workers who are actually helping us front lines of everything. So I was like, cool. I when the Australian fires happened, I put out an Aussie bear tee, kind of like a rip on the polar bear, and I was like, all right, how can I help my city now and do something cool? So I had a I Heart Jersey City design that was in the tuck, and I was like, all right, I'm pretty sure people are gonna cop this, so like let's just put all the proceeds towards that, and like we can help people do things. Like, instead of everyone feeling like, okay, how, like, instead of just donating, it's like, all right, I can give you this and you're donating to a good cause, so you feel good about it. So like the most important thing for me was like, all right, that's something I can do to help people. And I think just everyone, it starts small. It's like, you don't have to do like a big thing. It's like, all right, what do you do, and how can you help like someone, your neighbor or something? You know, it's just like you gotta stick together. You know, it's important.
For sure. And I think that that's an awesome perspective. And I think that that's why, like, I love having these enriching conversations, because at the foundation and at the root of who you are as a person is an idea and the thought that you want to build and you want to use to, and I say these three things so kindly. I say, I want to connect, I want to build, and I want to prosper. Right. So at the core of what you're saying is all three of those things. And I think that it allows people like myself to be influenced and inspired by that, and then try to impact the world around us. So I want to ask you, as we currently are in the first month of the second quarter of 2020, the year is just getting started, right? So what do you have planned? I'll give you a scenario. It's April and then May before we enter the summertime of June, July, and August, right? Hopefully the pandemic is over by then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
How or what do you have planned in the next 2 months, these next 2 months, to lead in the summer and like basically take some days off and your brand to the next level? What are the things that you're trying to do?
So I've been looking at expanding the product range. So most recently, it's really been just like t-shirts and totes, and like it's like a few hoodies here and there. So we've been trying to do different things like socks, sweats, and like all these different things where it's like, all right, like how do we build this to a full experience where it's like, I don't just have your Sundays off t-shirt. I have you like the whole fit is Sundays off. So we've been working on stuff like that. And most recently we did a jacket based off like Sade and Ben's, like two of my favorite things. So that pretty much, once everything's back open, pretty much, working on doing I had a bunch of different pop-ups just kind of like laid out, like with homies, like, yo, let's do something here, let's do something there. So hopefully if it ends, gonna get started on those definitely. And then, you know, just having fun, you know, like I said, if I'm not having fun with it, there's no point in me doing it. So as long as I'm having fun with like what I'm doing and like what I'm creating, it's good, you know. And like, I still have like, I have like designs for like other people that are just like tucked that like you're gonna see come out soon. Like with homies, my homies so do I-78, like great film production crew. I did a bunch of merch for a film they shot. With Taproot, there's a bunch of stuff that I have with them that we're kind of doing in the works right now. Yeah, it's like, so there's other stuff besides Sundays Off that are helping build Sundays Off, you know?
For sure. But I definitely think that that's dope. And so that led me into this question, right? We're sponsored by the Famco, great, you know, the fashion, art, music collective, right? So I wanted to ask you this question, right? How does fashion, art, and music tie into who Nabil is as a innovator and a creator?
I mean, you could say it kind of made me like, music influences all like stuff, you know, like I listen to obviously. Looking at like different streetwear brands is kind of how I got into streetwear. So like see like as cheesy as Obey was like cool at some point, Supreme, like all that stuff, like, and like there's smaller brands that get created all the time that I look at and I'm like, oh, these are fire. Like all those kind of, I take all those influences and mix them up, and like what you see as Sundays Off is my life experience and my focus on certain things, you know, just like my little tidbit on things. So yeah, like all those things kind of spin to make one thing, you know?
Yes, definitely got to feel that. And I definitely wanted to ask you, how does family play that impact in your life? Because I know for me, I have two older siblings and a mother and a father that have been married for so long that it makes me have that one perception of love. Like I want to be, you know, right for my future wife or something like that. So like, how does that perception of, you know, you come from a strong family, a strong background. I heard you're the youngest of, you know, was it 4 siblings? So I wanted to know, how does family play a part in your life?
I mean, it's huge. It's like, at the end of the day, like those are your brothers and sisters, like your first friends, I guess, in a way. So like those are the first people that I was kind of around all the time. So yeah, like huge role. I mean, like more recently, like they started paying attention to the stuff I'm doing. Especially because like they're annoyed because I'm like DJing and like their rooms are upstairs and they're like, yo, what the hell? They're like, what is all this noise? And they're just kind of seeing like the different design stuff. Like when I get a shipment of like skateboards and they're like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, oh, I just designed this like last week and I got it made.
For sure.
So like they're super supportive of now. And it's like, and I remember the first time my dad, so originally I started off just as a photographer. First time my dad realized like, oh, okay, he's onto something. Like I had, it was maybe like 2 years into me doing photography. So I shot Nas like for,
Nas.
Yeah, like Nas. Cause like, so the restaurant Sweet Chick is owned by him and my homie John. So like they're partners in it or whatever. Like, and there's a few other people involved, but like pretty much shot a project for them. And I got to shoot Nas, and then
that's dope.
And it's like it doesn't hit you until like later. I'm like, oh, that really happened. Like I shot Nas, cool. That was awesome.
Right,
like, it's like
that's the goal.
It's just one of those surreal moments. And like I was talking to my dad, and I was like, oh, do you know who that is? And he's like, oh yeah, I heard of them. I was like, oh, I just took a photo. I took photos of him like the other day. He's like, oh, really interesting. Like it is just to him, I think to your parents, it's like, oh, these little passions you have are just like small things where it's like, oh, whatever. He's just fucking around. Like, and then it's like, wait, you shot Nas? I was like, Nas. I'm like, yeah, Nas. Like,
for sure.
It's like, it's like, oh, kind of getting somewhere with this, you know, like, and then doing like different brand things. And like, he was telling me the other day, like, he saw something my homie shot of me on YouTube, and I was just like, why are you looking me up? And he's like, no, I just happened to see it, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like to me, I assume he's not focusing on stuff, and he's like, oh, that was really cool though. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like, to me, that's like the coolest thing ever. Like, oh, you kind of get what I do, because it's hard to explain to him, like, yeah, I went to college and did all these things, but this is what I want to do. I'm not worried about this other stuff. So it's like, it's kind of crazy for him to hear that. So it's like for him to acknowledge like, oh, that was really cool. It's like, to me, is like the best thing. Yeah.
It's a crazy dynamic, right? Because I have a great family that supports what I do 100%, and they know what I envision myself being like 2 to 3 years down the road. And so I always try to put that at the forefront of my mind to know that if they're supporting me, that's my why, right? So I had a little funny question for you, because I know my brother and my sister get on me about it all the time. So I want you to pick, who's your favorite sibling, right? Like, who is it and why? You got to do it.
It ranges. So there's times when it's like I'll like one more than the other, and then like sometimes I'm just like, yo, I hate all of you. Like right now, like, you're all pissing me off. Yeah. Like the other week, like they just like, I got home from work, and the first thing all they did was ask me a million questions. And I looked at them like, yo, can you just leave me alone, like right now? Like, I'm not trying to deal with this. And then my other brother came to me like, yeah, they're kind of being a dick to you. And I was like, yeah, but they are. And in that moment, I liked him better. And then in like other moments when like me and my dad argued, my oldest brother, me and him get along about that. Like, so my dad will do dumb stuff, and we're like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like, me and him will agree on that. So it varies. And like, I see my sister like once in a while, and she had like my nephew, him too. So like me and her are always cool though, like, because she's always been cool with me since I was like a kid. Like, she was that sibling that like she was forced to take me everywhere as a kid. So it's like, oh, if you want to go, take your brother. Like, and it used to be like, oh, I'm the baby brother, I gotta go. Like, I hang out with all her friends, and I'm like, oh, okay. So like me and her are always cool, like no matter what. But yeah, like I mostly live with my brothers and my dad, so it's like I see them all the time. And it's at some point it's like, yo, I need better roommates. Sometimes.
Definitely. Hey, like, that's crazy. Right? Yeah. So like for like me, I think I have 2 siblings, right? So like my brother is like an unspoken bond. Like, we don't have to do shit. Like, all I gotta see is this man act, and like, you be in the gym, all you gotta do is, lift together. I'm like, that's my backbone. And then I got my sister, who's like very compassionate, very, strong, very very able. Don't need, a man for anything. I love her. That's my heart, right? So like, for me, if I had to pick one, I'm gonna have to go with my sister, because I know she kill me, and she drive up to JMU and kill me right now. Like, she like better say me. But yeah, man, family, like, that's why I connected with you too, because like the family is something that you build off of, and it allows you to take your brand to the next level. So in this part of the interview, I want to do something, and I hope we don't get like copyright infringement. This shit was gonna be stupid, but so like, I'm gonna play a song for you, right? And I want you to tell me who it is, right? And I'm gonna give you a clue. I just got these customized masks for quarantine, right? So I mean, I'm gonna give you that's the clue right there. So I'm gonna play like 5 seconds of the song, right? All right, you ready?
Yeah, go.
All right.
Mess up. Toxic, bro. I love you. Come on,
bro. I was weak. I was like, I'm gonna do that every interview, bro. Like, cause like,
no, it was like, that was an easy one. I'm assuming that was like a really easy one.
But I know,
no way. If I got that wrong, I'd have to be ashamed of myself. Like,
I had to start off easy. I couldn't, give someone something. I got a whole playlist now. Like, I'm gonna have so much fun with this tour, bro. Like, I mean, cause like, your spirit like represents so much of like who I want to be, like at the level, like when I get up there, because I feel like progress is something that you're always climbing. Like, and I just released a post the other day, is like, find the destination within the journey, right? Because you're always trying to reach a destination. If you're always trying to do that, then you're not going to be content. But if you're always realizing that your journey is in front of you, and that the destination will give you the motivation to create and innovate moving forward, then it'll be like a lifestyle of progress. So I definitely feel like just these vibes, these conversations are motivation for me to go out like after this and create. Yeah, exactly. So that's the one reason why like I created this tour and pitched it to my editor at Famco, was because of these conversations, and these smiles is what I need on a daily basis, man. So I think that is very dope to have you as the first person, because I think you set the tone for real, right? So now everybody got to set up to the standards, because I'm gonna let them know, Nabil came down here and did his thing. No, I mean, I don't know, what you talking about, but we gonna have to, we're gonna have to take it up a notch for real.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. But what's a gem that you like live by? Like, what's the one thing, like, if you had to pick like a quote, what's it that you live by?
Yo, we're all just works in progress.
Mm,
Like,
I love that.
that's like with the whole party work in progress. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, you're always figuring it out. Like, you don't have to just be a set thing. One day
Yes.
you want to do this, one day you want to do that, one day you want to do that. Like, you might be into a different music genre tomorrow. Like, you might discover something like you didn't know. Like, so you're always a work in progress. You know, just gotta keep going with punches.
For sure, for sure. So, I mean, I'm so grateful to have you on tonight, and thank you so much for everything, the gems that you dropped. I definitely want to ask you to definitely let the people know three things before you leave, right? And then I'm going to ask the ending question. Let them know some of the events you got coming up. Let them know some of the projects, where they can find you at. After this, you know, just let them know everything about you, boss.
Yeah, so definitely working on some new merch besides like the Jersey City stuff. So, but if you want to cop that Jersey City stuff, and it goes towards helping our nurses and everyone on the front line with COVID, 100% of the profits are going to that. So if you want to cop that, link in bio. Definitely working on some new stuff. Got a lot more car tees, and everyone fucks with those.
Yeah.
And then yeah, man. DJ wise, hopefully once this ends, we get right back to partying. I'm trying to get a normal Twitch live stream going on. I'm still figuring it out, but keep you guys posted on that one. I know I might be doing something Thursday, so stay tuned. Shout out to Lovely.
Yes.
You guys will see what that's about.
Definitely.
And yeah, man, just enjoy life, dude. Like,
For sure. I'm going to actually drop some of your stuff on my pages throughout this week, and help you out as well. After this interview, I'll definitely post some stuff on my stories about, you know, just your brand and anything you want me to do. You know, you got a connection here in Virginia, bro. If you need the network out here, I got you, boss, for sure. So the last question I wanted to, you know, end the interview with, right, is, you know, I have three pillars of my brand that I'm working on, and then I also have like a phrase that, you know, I name myself as the next step mentality writer. But then I also have three things I wake up each day to kind of get my 24 hours started off with the motivation in the week, right? So I wanted to ask you, what is your purpose, right? What is your passion, and how do you define your perspective?
All right, so purpose. I'd have to say just like inspiring and helping other people, definitely. Like, if you ever have a question, anyone knows, like, yo, just DM me, like, I'll answer it as best as I can. If I don't know the answer, I'll direct you towards someone who has the answer. Or if you need something, like, like, people always ask me, like, yo, do you know someone who does this? Do you know someone who does that? Like, I'll definitely send that your way. Like, so if you ever need that, like, let me know. My passion, life, I don't know, like,
Hey, that's a great passion.
I enjoy
That's
what
a great
I do.
passion.
I just enjoy everything I do. I try not to do things I don't enjoy, like I said. So, like, if I'm doing it, I love it, you know?
For sure.
What was the last one again?
Perspective.
Pretty positive, man.
Yeah.
For someone who likes Larry David, I should be negative, man. I'm pretty positive about things, you know? I try to be.
For sure, man. Well, I want to just say thank you so much. I appreciate you for being the first interviewee on the IG Live virtual tour. This is a series where we have creative innovators and innovative minds come out, tell us their story, share their passion, their purpose, and their perspective on life. Shout out to Famco, and shout out everyone for tuning in tonight. All right.
Thank you.
I wanted to
I don't know you guys listening
so much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I wanna thank you, and I wanna say have a great night, and we'll be in touch soon. All right.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Peace.
All right, boss. Take it easy.